Florida cracking down on crime as California continues its decline. Unlike California, reducing certain theft and drug possession offenses from felonies to misdemeanors, DeSantis wants to up the penalties for criminals who keep committing the same retail thefts, slapping them with as much as 30 years prison time.
Right now, we have a situation in Florida where you only get a felony if you do 5 different retail thefts within a 45-day period. Well, excuse me, you shouldn't do it at all. But if you do it and get caught, you go back to the well again. They should drop the hammer on you.
Yes. Now contrast that with Gavin, otherwise known as a male Karen, who cried to the manager after witnessing a theft.
The woman says, "Oh, he's just walking out. He didn't pay for that." I said, "Well, why aren't you stopping him?" She goes, "Oh, the governor." Swear to God, true story. Oh, my mom's great. The governor lowered the threshold. There's no accountability. I said, that's just not true. $380 later. And I was like, why am I spending $380? Everyone can walk the hell right out.
And then he asked to see the manager. It's no wonder that most Americans agree that California is headed for the dumps. 50% of the country say the Golden State is in decline, Judge. Florida is cracking down while California is cracking up.
Well, there's no question. As you say, 50% of the people in California believe it's in decline. That's because they live there and they know it. But I think the perfect example of what's going on is something that John Miller said on CNN a couple days ago. He said what these retail thieves do is they steal in New York, and then they go to Florida, whether it's Miami, Palm Beach, and they sell everything down there. And, John Miller said, well, why don't they steal in Florida? Why are they going back and forth? He said, because they know they'll go to jail in Florida. And that's just the reality. And you see it in the laws. You've got Ron DeSantis, who knows there's a problem with retail theft, who knows that every American today is paying for retail theft. The more they steal, the more the next item costs. The more they steal, the more insurance costs for all of us. The more they steal, the more the stores have to invest in security and safety, the more they have to worry about employees. It is a spiral that's out of control, and California as a state is symptomatic of what is going on. And Florida is just living large.
Jessica, this statistic, 50% see Gavin stayed in decline. Is that going to negate him as Joe's replacement at the...
I don't know what you're talking about, Greg.
Oh, come on.
There's no rumors about that or what could happen at the convention at all. Yeah. So Gavin Newsom, certainly in the last few months, has been talking about how this is a real problem. And in January, he actually put out a new plan to expand on his real public safety plan, to expand criminal penalties, increase enforcement tools like more police. And also, this was something that I didn't know, that there was a rule against aggregating thefts. So it was a $950 threshold, but the guy could have stolen from, he does this at Lululemon, right? And then down the street, he did it at Athleta, but they were considered as separate crimes. And that'll be put together and going against professional auto burglars. So that's all a step in the right direction. And he's very passionate about getting that done, whether it's about aspirations for even higher office or not. But I did think it was interesting to look at the thresholds for the 50 states of what you need to steal in order to be charged with a felony. And California is not bad with this. So Texas, you need to steal $2,500 to be charged with a felony. Alabama, $1,500. Mississippi, $1,000.
But they don't let people walk out.
There is a DA problem, which is a prosecution problem. But the judge said it's a national problem.
No,
it's not.
No, here's the difference. No. DeSantis removes prosecutors who don't enforce the law. Gavin Newsom watches repeal after repeal, and he doesn't remove prosecutors, so he doesn't care. He only cares about what they say about him at Target.
Dana, why don't we sue these Soros-funded DAs?
Yeah.
I mean, like, you know what? That's what the Dems would do. I mean, they're suing, and these guys are actually destroying the country.
Would we have standing? I guess that would be the question. Yeah. Could you figure out a way to have a case? I thought that about the ranchers down along the border in Texas. Like, why can't they band together and sue because of property right, whatever it might be? Like, they should be able to do that. The one thing about this is that the law that passed in California that allows for all of this nonsense is Prop 47. I mentioned last week they had like 325,000 signatures. They are up to 400,000 signatures to get it repealed, and they have 30 district attorneys across the state who want it repealed. The mayor of Santa Monica just endorsed it. London Breed of San Francisco endorsed it. So Gavin ought to get on board.
Exactly. Jesse, can you let the audience know what Belknap would have been?
She would have resigned in tears.
Yes.
So I didn't know this, but this is the first time ever that California's ever lost population. Ever since Gavin Newsom was governor, they have lost population. And it's hard to leave a state like California because it's got so much going for it.
Yeah.
But now it's got the highest poverty rate in any state. It's like the lowest in terms of income. It's now spending billions of dollars in homelessness, and they're increasing the amount of homelessness. They have a higher murder rate, higher crime rate than Florida. So as the informal advisor to Gavin Newsom, this is what he should do, because he can't fight this with facts. You saw that debate with DeSantis. That was
worked
bad.
out for DeSantis.
I would, if I were Newsom, I'd hit on emotion, and I'd say, guys, we're talking about California. Come rent a convertible and drive through Big Sur with a girl, wind blowing through your hair. Go to Hollywood. We got beaches. We have mountains. You're telling me California is a bad state? California is the best state in the country. And just do it like common sense. Like, are you kidding me? We're talking about California.
Yeah, but California is like a supermodel. Great to look at, but nuts. Ahead. Highway blocking pro-Hamas freaks about to get a crash course in domestic terrorism.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.